Hey guys, welcome back to Token Tech. Today I want to talk to you guys about a recent upgrade I made, a recent purchase I made on eBay. I purchased a used 1080 Ti. As you can see here, you can see I just did a stress test on it. 1080 Ti, 1800X, and this thing does fantastically. It passed the test. Obviously I have an overclock. I can show you that over here. We have these overclock settings: 135 on the core, plus 600 on the memory, and this thing is liquid cooled. So I'll show you guys that in just a moment. Before these things get too far away, I want to show you guys the results of this stress test. So here you guys can see the temperature. This is what I'm really focused on here. The temperature never goes beyond 60 degrees. 59, sometimes it spikes up to 60, but it really flatlined at 59 degrees. And this is with my liquid cooling kit from EK, the A240G, with the added in 360 radiator. I bought that separately from EK. All aluminum, so you can't mix it with copper. That makes it quite limited, but I'm going to talk more about that in a separate video focused on the A240G. I just wanted to get a lot of time with it before I made a video on it. That's coming in the future. Look out for that. Anyways, back to what we're talking about here. You can see that did the stress test. This lasts quite a while, so it does give the loop time to heat up and really put the GPU under load. And you can also see that the core clock down here, it doesn't really go past 2000 even with that overclock. That's because of the load. This was times by extreme, so it is quite a heavy load on this graphics card, and temperatures and power and all that stuff play into it, along with how heavy of a load it is, but still performs quite admirably. If you scroll down, we can see some of the things that are interesting when it comes to testing with liquid cooling loops and your other components. So since it's in the loop with my CPU, even though the CPU isn't being taxed here, it's not being loaded up by this test, it's still spiking up to 59 degrees Celsius as well, just because it's in the loop with hot water being heated up by the GPU. So that's one of the things with liquid cooling. I'll get more into it when we do the video on this kit, but yeah, you can see here the usage of the CPU up here, this number, just really isn't that much. It might spike up to like 30. I think that one was 30% there, but it's not really that tough. And it's overclocked to 4 gigahertz, so on and so on. Alright, so you can see how this kit does really well and really does pair nicely with a high-end graphics card. Again, I'll talk a lot more about this when we do the standalone video for the kit. This is more on my purchase. So why did I get a 1080 Ti? And the reasoning behind that was because I was already locked into this platform. Since I bought the A240G, that's for NVIDIA cards, I would have to buy another water block if I wanted to do AMD cards. They do have a version of this for Vega 56 and 64, and I highly recommend them. I think those cards, because of how hot they are and how the reference cooler is a blower style, meaning that they really do suffer from temperatures, putting it underwater is a great way to unlock its capabilities. And since one of the things that's really common in the Vega community is BIOS flashing. So if you get a stock Vega 64, you can put the liquid cooled BIOS on it, put it under an all cover, aluminum block from EK. The kit is about $240 for the CPU and GPU, and a 240 millimeter radiator, which is plenty, believe me. Now you could extend it if you want a little bit quieter performance, but you can get pretty good performance with that 240 radiator. Again, it has a lot to do with how much water you're pushing through with the pump. Again, I'll talk all about this in another video, so please come back and check that out if you want more info on the liquid cooling kit. But if you want to get that kit for the Radeon Vega 56 and 64, it's out there. It's not too expensive, and Vega 64 you can get used for under $300. Vega 56 you can get used for around $200 to $250. It's pretty good. Those cards are really good value. I do recommend them. But for me, although I would have loved to do that, I was already kind of locked into the NVIDIA platform. Why? Because I didn't do my research. So learn from my mistake. I didn't realize there was a version of this for AMD graphics cards. Now, some of you might know I used to have an AMD Vega 64. It was a Sapphire Nitro Plus, which has a custom PCB, which doesn't fit these water blocks from EK. So I couldn't use it with that. That's one of the reasons I sold it, but more so because I needed the money at the time. Not going to get into that. Anyways, so I was locked into this platform. I was unhappy with the 1070. I thought the 1080 would probably probably be as boring as the 1070. So I just bit the bullet and went straight to the 1080 Ti. And I'll be honest with you guys, I love the performance. If you guys want the best performance for your $500, I would definitely recommend going and getting a used 1080 Ti. New, you're looking at like a Vega. Sorry, not a Vega. You're looking at like a 2070. This beats a 2070 in non-ray tracing games. So definitely look for that if you're willing to spend that kind of money. Although I think the best value is Vega 56 for, well under $250 used on eBay, if you're in America at least. All right, so performance is great, and just so you guys know, I am a high refresh rate gamer, so I do like to have all my games, even my AAA games, above 100 FPS, and preferably above 140 FPS. So this thing does get used quite a bit. I'm taking advantage of it, but one point that I saw that kind of was lacking was CPU performance. So my CPU, as you can see right here, let me pull that down, is an 1800X. I bought this for $200. Really great CPU. Overclocks to 4 gigahertz. I can technically get 4.1, but that's with a lot of voltage. So 4 gigahertz is my daily. It performs really well in terms of, editing videos, rendering videos, and streaming and all that types of stuff. But where it falls down is, honestly, it is gaming. First gen Ryzen really didn't game all that well. Good enough? Sure. Mid-range? Sure. When you're trying to do high refresh rate gaming, these CPUs really fall on their face. Now, I know the second generation Ryzen stuff did fix a lot of that, or at least got better at it, but it still wasn't quite enough, and it wasn't enough for me to upgrade. Now, when we're looking at the new stuff that's coming out in less than a month, just really a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, on July 7th, that stuff is looking like it's going to be Intel levels of gaming performance, if not better. And so I'm thinking of getting one to test for the channel and also to use as an upgrade for my own personal system to get the most out of my 1080 Ti. My question to you guys is, which should I get? Should I get the 3600 or the 3700X? So if we pull those up real quick, we can see here, you can see what it's all about, right? I think it boosts up to 4.4. No, boosts up to 4.2 with 6 cores, 12 threads. All the other stuff that the other other chips come with. Pretty awesome stuff here, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it over the Ryzen 7 3700X. 100X. Because if you see here, if we take a look at that, you can see, well, when it's 8 cores, 16 threads, you're getting 2 more cores and 4 more threads, but it also boosts a bit higher up to 4.4, which if you can get all cores stable at 4.4 gigahertz, that could actually make a decent difference in gaming when comparing it to the 3600. I don't know how high that's going to be able to clock. You might be able to overclock that one to 4.4. I just don't know yet, right? And this is also a 65 watt chip, which is kind of awesome, to be honest. So this could actually potentially overclock even higher than 4.4, knowing that the 3800X clocks, I think, at 4.5 or 4.6. So who knows, right? We don't know yet. We don't know for sure yet. We have some leaks, some rumors. So I would like to know from you guys what you would want to see, and which one do you think I should do? Should I do first gen 8 core versus third gen Ryzen 8 core, or first gen 8 core versus third gen Ryzen 6 core, and battle it out, see which one is better? I do live near a Micro Center, so potentially I might be able to return these if I'm unhappy with the product, but I don't really want to bank on that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What CPU should I upgrade to? What do you think about my purchase of a 1080 Ti? What would you purchase used? And would you go for the EK A240G or 240R? That's the one that is for Radeon, Vega 56 and Vega 64. Let me know all that in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.